Hey everybody, welcome back to Chegg Insider. We have an incredible honor today. A friend, a Silicon Valley icon. I explained to him and he explained to me he's not a legend yet because he's younger than me and he's just getting started. And speaking of just getting started, he's the author of the best-selling The Startup of You. And so I want to welcome Reid Hoffman. Reid is best known for two things. One is seeing trends before anybody else in Silicon Valley, including being, I think, the first or the earliest investors in things like Facebook. But also, more interesting to me, and a career helper for me, was the founder of LinkedIn. So many people gave up on LinkedIn early. Yeah. What lesson would you give, would you encourage students to understand, those who are entrepreneurs, about what can they take from that as they start their careers?
Well, one of the things, and actually we touch on this in the book as well, there's a piece of advice that's given to entrepreneurs that's somewhat paradoxic, which is be persistent and be flexible. Right? And so you're like, wait a minute, those aren't the same thing. Right? But both the ability to hold to a vision, a plan, something that you're trying to execute against, preferably a little contrarian, right? Because like the starting of LinkedIn, and but also to be very flexible about the feedback you're getting.
It's an interesting thing because I have a college-age daughter and a junior in high school, and we talk about this all the time, which is they may not appreciate the networks that surround them because they don't see them as networks.
You know, part of the thing is, in terms of networking, people frequently misunderstand networking because there's a class of very gregarious people who try to brand it themselves. So they walk up to strangers and say, "Hi, I'm Reid. I'd really like to meet you."
Right.
And the mistake is actually that thinking that's the only form of networking. So the people around you are your allies.
Right.
They're the people.
They want you to succeed.
They want you to succeed. So they will introduce you to people, to opportunities, to information, to resources, and that's the second degree out. And it's not just them helping you; it's each of you helping each other.
Yeah, because it helps my brand
Yes.
if I recommend somebody good to somebody else.
Exactly. The key thing is you want to build genuine relationships are both directional, right? And so classically what happens is a college kid will say, might say, well, what do I have to offer Bill Gates or, a Dan or a Reid or, what do I have? And you're like, well, there may be multiple things. So, for example, one thing, like if I were trying to approach you, I was a college kid and I was trying to approach you for a job here. Right. I would do something like, look, here, I've done an analysis of how Chegg's being used on campus. Exactly. This is what I've seen. And if that's at all good, you're going to be interested in that kid.
That's right.
You're going to be like, hey, maybe we have something for you. Would you try an internship? Maybe come in for an interview? These sorts of things.
Help a student understand what it means to be in permanent beta.
Yeah. So one of the things we started seeing in internet sites is they would launch with a little tag beta on them. Right. And like
Google was famous for
Google and Gmail, which was in beta for 8 years.
Yes.
And so that's where we borrowed the phrase from, because what we realized is the way that everyone should think about themselves and their career and their life is essentially that they are a work in progress. That even though you're out in the field, even though you have a job, even though you're essentially you're being paid, there's work you're doing, it may be important work, you're not a finished product. There's key things to add into yourself, right? There's key things you need to learn because the world's changing, competition's changing, you're changing. Right. There are things that you're going to need to be able to...
And the speed in which things are changing is faster than I've ever seen before.
Yes, and most likely will continue to accelerate.
Well, listen, I want to thank you not only for the stuff you do in Silicon Valley, which a lot of people don't understand just how philanthropic you are, how much you actually follow exactly what you said, which is you network all the time. Young people are able to come up to you. You've helped launch a whole lot of careers. And so I want to thank you for writing the book, and I want to encourage all of our students to get it. It's everywhere leading books are sold, and it's really one of the ones that has taken Silicon Valley by storm, because you got a lot of people out here who think they've already made it, and then they realize they haven't even gotten started yet. So congratulations on the success of the book. Thanks for coming to Chegg.
Thank you.
All right.
Pleasure.